'Tis the holiday season, fellow viewers! If you survive this long in the year, then you deserve to enjoy all the season has to offer. Some hot cocoa, a warm fire, and of course, some holiday specials. If you were glued to cartoon channels like I was, then it was impossible to avoid the onslaught of holiday specials during the winter time. And more often than not, these networks would recycle the same specials year after 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 year and after year. One of these specials was Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer. I can't remember a single year Cartoon Network didn't air this special, and each year I watched every airing. What was it that kept drawing me back towards this show? Beats meat. Oh, I meant beats me. I had a typo in the script. Kind of hard to type with only one hand. I don't really know. The holiday season just got me in the mood for any festive schluck. And after the year we've had, I need this more than ever. So, what's this movie about exactly? Well, it's a movie whose whole premise comes from one line in the song.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
Yeah, now this isn't an original concept. There have been other Christmas movies that base their plots off of certain holiday tunes. However, adapting this particular song seems like a really bold choice. The song is essentially about a grandma who gets wasted during the holidays before getting trampled to death by Santa's sleigh. Eesh. To have this adapted into a kid's movie is already an intriguing premise, so how do they manage to stretch a short holiday song into a full movie? Well, let's just find out. This is Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. Okay, this movie wastes no time, as it begins with that oh-so-familiar tune.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
Yeah, right from the get-go, this movie tries making light of a really dark situation. I mean, you can't just play upbeat music with a relaxed narration over a homicide and call it family-friendly.
My favorite story of all time is about my grandma. She had this encounter with a reindeer. Grandma got run over by a reindeer, all right. And as incredible as that was, it almost put an end to Christmas.
We step back to earlier in December, where we see Grandma's store during the holiday rush. It's here that we learn some good morals about the holidays. I mean, spend some time with family, give to those less fortunate, don't shamble out onto the highway in the middle of the night while being piss-poor drunk. It's that easy. And, oh, wait, what's that?
Now I ain't saying she a gold digger.
Ah, yes, Cousin Mel. The movie tries portraying her as the greedy antagonist, but I've yet to see it. We turn our attention to the supposed main character, Jake, whose faith in Santa is getting really challenged by his family.
Santa Claus is real!
Well, there is no easy answer. Historically, there was a Saint Nick who, with a loving heart, filled children's shoes with gifts of all sorts. So Santa today represents the true meaning of Christmas.
We also get introduced to Grandpa, who is without a doubt the best character in this movie. Specifically for the sole reason that he's so checked out in every scene he's in. I mean, he's the only character who's not at all invested in anything going on, and I love him for that. Before long, we get introduced to another sort of antagonist, Austin Bucks, this movie's big, bad corporation guy. Literally the bottom of the barrel type if you're trying to force an antagonist onto a movie. But this movie actually does something truly shocking. This big, bad company man isn't really the bad guy. You know, he just wants to own Grandma's store in order to complete his monopoly. But he's not sleazy or conniving. I mean, he isn't trying to trick Grandma into selling her store. He just tries reasoning with her. He even believes that he's doing a good thing for the people. So I'll give the movie credit that instead of taking the lazy way out here, they actually add some layers to this character. But that also raises a question. If he isn't the movie's main antagonist, then who is?
Now I ain't saying she a gold digger.
Oh, it's gotta be this little runt right here. Grandma refuses to sell the store, setting in motion a chain of events I, for one, think is completely justified. Like poisoning Grandma's batch of fruitcake. If the Lion King's anything to go by, this is the best way to get that store from Grandma. Now, before we get to the fun part, there's something that should be addressed here. Grandma, up to this point, has been nothing short of an absolute saint. She constantly monologues about peace and love, and she's just extraordinarily charitable. She has no fault whatsoever, which makes this next scene so much funnier.
It's
Grandma
him!
got run
Santa
over
Claus.
by a reindeer.
Oh, he is real!
Walking home from our house Christmas Eve.
Wait, Grandma, no!
Oh my God! No such thing as Santa.
I need
But as for me and Grandpa, we believe.
At least little Jake now knows Santa Claus is real. Jake tries to get help, but both the sleigh and Grandma had disappeared. The family thinks he's crazy, all except one member who believes him.
You saw what happened, didn't you, Grandpa?
I'm sorry. Were you talking to me?
So they call the police and look for her body. So far, they managed to tone down many of the song's edgier aspects, but they've gotten really stumped at this part.
See?
She had hoof prints on her forehead and incriminating claws marks on her back.
So, in an interesting turn of events, the movie cuts several months ahead. Despite being a Christmas movie, the majority of it actually takes place after the fact. Okay, with Grandma now declared legally dead, the Grandpa not caring in the slightest, Cousin Mel takes the opportunity to have the Grandpa sign the store over to her.
Do a sign.
Sing?
No, sign.
Sure.
So sign.
I'd rather sing.
Now I ain't saying she a gold digger.
But just as Cousin Mel's is about to close the deal, the little kid just has to ruin everything. Austin Bucks agrees to give Jake an extra week to try and find Grandma before closing the deal. And what better way to do so than to send an email to santaisreal.com. Of course, this gets Santa's attention, and an elf comes to take Jake to the North Pole. As it turns out, Santa's kept her in his medical ward for the entire year on account of her amnesia. She doesn't remember Jake or anything else that's going on, but she does agree to go and help stop the deal. Though, things don't go exactly as planned, as Grandma gets kidnapped and Santa admits to a hit-and-run homicide, leading to the movie's true plot, Cousin Mel suing Santa Claus. And you know, I'm starting to have my doubts about this movie. I mean, I've enjoyed it. It's been very encourageable up to this point, but it's starting to become much, much worse. I mean, for starters,
Grandpa's gonna sue the pants off of Santa. That's what Grandpa's gonna do. Woo-hoo!
never mind. 10 out of 10. It's a masterpiece. So, after some sage advice,
What can I do, Grandpa?
I'm sorry. Were you talking to me?
Jake deduces who could have kidnapped Grandma. They find Grandma in an isolated cabin in the woods, and then they jog her memory with some of her fruitcake.
Oh, right, the poison.
With Grandma's memories back, they rush to the courthouse for a climax of epic proportions. I mean, the gist of it is that Cousin Mel's secret ingredient attracted the reindeer, causing them to trample Grandma. And like an angel descending from the heavens above, Grandpa finally gets involved with the plot of the movie, delivering the final piece of evidence proving Santa's innocence.
I'm sorry. Were you talking to me?
And then Cousin Mel finally confesses to her crime.
So I kidnapped Grandma and made Santa Claus the fall guy so I could get all his money. Hey, I deserve to be rich.
Sounds good to me.
Ocean man, take me by the hand, lead me to the land.
And that was Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer. And yeah, looking at the movie now, it's far from perfect. But personally, I think its flaws are what make it so great. It has some hilariously bad animation, and they even managed to screw up the audio on several accounts.
Grandma says you own everything.
Well, not yet, but that's why I want to speak to your grandma.
Off for Santa, Santa's going for a ride. Santa's going for a ride. Santa's going for a ride.
So, this is definitely a so bad it's good movie, and I can see why. I enjoyed it so much as a kid, and even now it's really funny. It's a fun, typical Christmas classic that has so much more to offer thanks to its lower quality. I mean, and although I rag on the quality of this movie, I do think it has some good qualities to it. I mean, I'm enjoying reviewing it. It's fun. I mean, the music's good. Almost every track in the movie hits just the right spot.
And things were going fine till the day I heard the doorbell and a chill ran up my spine. And Elvis offers her the keys to a new Cadillac. Well, and a couple of sheets of Elvis postage stamps.
Grandpa's gonna sue the pants off of Santa.
All in all, it's a fun time to be had, and I can easily recommend this to anyone for a good Christmas special lineup. I loved it as a kid, and as an adult, I love it for different reasons now. Very different reasons. Anyways, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, as that helps supports the content we make. And we hope that you have a happy holiday. And if not, I'm gonna come over there